I do not have any problem with anybody who decides to play any kind of politics. But the very moment you start playing politics with the lives of the people, the very moment you start playing politics with humanity, then I need you to mark it somewhere that the universe is waiting for you in an end that you may never understand. Anybody who is boldly supporting the continuation of the government we have in Nigeria today, that person does not mean well for this country. You may elect to Google it. Google life expectancy, the countries with the lowest life expectancy in the world. And you will shockingly discover that Nigeria happens to be number 1. 54 years life expectancy in Nigeria. So those of us who are above 54 years, it is assumed that we are living by the grace of God, because all the indices that support the good health are not in existence in Nigeria. You do not need to ask me what they are, because you know. And this government that is ruling us today, tell me what they have done to improve on health care. Tell me what they have done to improve on anything at all, and I will not be able to show you. We are living by the grace of God in this country. Everything is on a standstill. Nothing is functioning. The only thing that is functioning in Nigeria is politics. Year in, year out. Serious amount of money are being budgeted for different departments. And we are beginning to hear that the money that will eventually get to those departments are not even up to 20% of the budgeted sum. The remaining amount will always end up in private pockets of the people that want to become lords, people that want to become godfathers, godmothers, god demons, or whatever thing they are called. They want to continue to silence the people by using the money that they have stolen from the system to become lords over others, so that they will give bags of rice, give food stuff to people, and then they vote them back. Nigeria should be above where we are today. If you go to hospital, what kind of medical attention do you receive? If you call emergency, what is the result you get? The police officers that are standing along the road up to tomorrow, they are there collecting money from motorists along the road. I just drove from Ohofia yesterday back to my base in Asaba Delta State. I am going to work this morning, and this got laid in my spirit that I have to speak out. We want a country that is functioning, and this APC government is not promising anything. If up to today we cannot have anything, the president himself said it when he was campaigning for the last time, that if eventually he did not, that they have to give us electricity anywhere at all. If they fail to give us electricity, do not vote for me again. Why are you campaigning today, sir, with all due respect, when there is no electricity anywhere? You actually said that nobody should bill anybody anymore by estimate. But that is what we are still experiencing in Nigeria in your presidency. With all due respect, sir, you have not managed to do anything. Why are you boldly campaigning? Engaging the services of those they call the city boys and city girls. Development of a country is not based in the city. Development is local. When the people at the local level cannot say anything about you, you are, with all due respect, wasting your time in the cities. Nigeria will not always remain like this. Men and women that are saddled with the responsibility of leading, can you people at least lead? Can we do less of this corruption? What are we doing with money? Why are we leaving this country so impoverished? Because we want to have so much money in our bank accounts. What is money? What exactly is money? If this country will start to function, it is functioning for the good of all. Serious amount of monies are budgeted for departments of government. The money will not get to the departments and then ends up in private pockets. Nobody has gone to jail. Nobody has been in prison. All the people that are in prison for corruption in this country are those that fell out with government. Anybody who is still committed to the leaking of the boot of men and the women in power, they never end up in jail, no matter the level of their corruption. We have names of people. We are not going to mention the names, but we know the names of all the people, including the people who, the person that owns the house in Lagos, where a huge amount of money got discovered. Nothing has happened. Nothing happened eventually. We are seeing a whole lot of things. For how long will this continue? We are calling. Can government sit up? Can you help us? Can you help us? Why are people campaigning for a failed government? A government that has failed. A government that is accredited as living in denial before the eyes of global community. People are being massacred and we are playing politics with lives of people. The universe is looking. Crime of killing another is the biggest in the world. I belong to a community, the Igbo community in Nigeria. Taking life is the highest crime. We call it Igbo Osho. Anybody that has taken human life in one way, you may not understand that you were not the one that took that life. But for the mere fact that you are covering up for those that took the life, that seed is on you. Anybody who is covering somebody who has committed the crime of killing another, shedding innocent blood, you were not the one that shed that blood. But for the mere fact you are covering the person that shed blood, that blood is on you. How many more blood can we shed in this country before we start thinking? I want to have a Nigeria that functions. Can we make it work?
I am a Nigerian. I wear no glasses in relation to my country. I see Nigeria in its ugly nudity at any point in time.
Ugly nudity?
Oh, very ugly country.
Your
very,
country?
Oh, very, very ugly country.
Are you ugly?
Unfortunately, every Nigerian is rendered ugly by his circumstances unless we continue to lie to ourselves. I spent 3 weeks in prison. I had no business being there. And I saw multiple persons who had no business in that prison either.
In Ekiti?
Yes. Multiple persons. There were 11 persons in my cell. I found that at least 9 of them had no business being there.
What were they doing there?
The Nigerian state decided that they should spend some time there. Maybe somebody offended someone, maybe some civil case that should have been settled in a civil manner or in civil court was criminalized because somebody knew policeman.
What was the prison like?
Horrible. Any Nigerian in prison who does not have external help, who doesn't get somebody from outside bringing something or the other for his sustenance, who is completely dependent on the Nigerian prison service for his sustenance, I warrant without any hesitation that such a person will be dead in less than 6 months.
But they are not dead.
Multiple are dying every day.
In prison?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Let me put it this way. By the time I got to Ekiti prison, the state of that prison was only made better by the grace of certain persons, both in his administration and even prisoners, who took concerted effort to ensure that they minimize. But when you see the objective living conditions of the inmates, any inmate in Nigerian prison who is dependent on the food served in that prison would die under 3 months.
So how do they survive?
A lot of people are self-feeding. Now, where they're not self-feeding, they find ways to augment their meals.
How do they get the money to do that?
People bring things from those who have family members. People bring food for them from outside. Those who do not have family members are largely dependent on the charity of fellow prisoners. Some are dependent on the mercy. And you can imagine the kind of mercies available to the prisoner in prison. I didn't see most of these because they were obviously hidden from me. Efforts were made to keep me segregated. Not that I was victimized in any way, but as you can well imagine, the system was not interested in me seeing a lot of things.
They treated you as VIP?
No, I wasn't treated different from others, but suffice to say that within the prison system, some things were kept away from me. Let me just put it that way. People were told to be on their best behavior. People were being on guard, being careful without they related with me. But of course, if I'm in the prison population, I will know things within the prison population. There are things I know, for instance, from my time in Ekiti. Because I do not see how it would impact positively on the lives of the inmates that I left behind, I kept quiet about them. Simply because anything I say would only worsen their situation. If I'm going to say something or do something that will not positively impact the lives of the inmates, I've been very careful not to do that. People are already managing a bad situation. I know prison officers who spend their money on medication for prisoners. So how do I say something against such persons? I can only speak against the system that placed them in a condition where their poor pay still subsidizes medication for desperate prisoners. I saw it with my own eyes. And I'm saying without any hesitation, anybody in Nigerian prison who eats the Nigerian prison food for only 3 months. In fact, he can't survive 3 months. Within a month, the person had to have been extremely well, in good health, before he will survive up to 3 months in the Nigerian prison system.
Did you taste the food?
God forbid.
See, please tell me, how more can you hate your country by wishing them what you currently wishing Nigeria to continue? No, if you are a supporter of this current government, just tell the whole world why. What is good about this APC under Bola Tinubu that you want to continue? Because I'm looking at a Nigeria where everything has collapsed. Nothing is working anymore. And we have a government who seems not to understand or who seems not to care. The president, from the day he was sworn in, he's been campaigning. Till tomorrow, he's more concerned about 2027. Election or a position he never merited in the first place. Bola Tinubu was not qualified and ought not to have been a president in the first place. But let us assume he got himself into power by accident and he messed the whole thing up. The country, as far as I'm concerned, is shut down now. Nothing is working. If you are not a Nigerian and you don't live in Nigeria, maybe you live outside, please call any Nigerian from any part of the world. Call any Nigerian living in any corner of Nigeria. Ask them how is Nigeria today. The whole place is completely messed up. The loss of lives in the north daily. I use in the north because that's the headquarters. Otherwise, it's everywhere. My Edo is not exempted. People go down every day. Recently, we hear numbers over 40 of our uniform men going down without war. Nigeria is not at war, but we lose lives every day. And the government is not interested. The only thing that matters to them is the next election. They want to win 2027. The 2023 that you read, what have you done with it? You messed up the country and you want to continue like this? No electricity, nothing. There is nothing in Nigeria that is working. And the person that has failed this much wants to continue. Has bought all the governor, has bought all the members of the National Assembly. Even at that, he knows he cannot win election. He's making sure that the people's vote also did not count. And somebody ignorantly, stupidly, or maybe out of wickedness, really wants this to continue to before Nigeria beyond 2027. Who have we offended this much? No, who? If you don't live in Nigeria, you don't understand what I'm saying now. There is a war in Iran, but Nigerians are the one bearing the brunt. People don't have electricity, they resorted to generator. Now, fuel price have skyrocketed and it keeps going. You won't hear the government say or do anything about it. Rather, they want to put the blame on opposition. They want to blame successive administration. The only thing that matters to them is 2027. May most of you that I don't care about Nigeria never see 2027, no matter how close. If it is tomorrow, you will sleep tonight and not wake. Because you know what we are passing through. I'm on generator now at 1,000 plus 1,100 something, just to be able to shoot this video.
Dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Shetima, I'm not sure say you will be Vice President say you even did this country safe. I'm not sure. Because now your community with the years say some kind of the bandits, but the bandits they come. May I call them but the bandits too because I get respect. Now your community, but the bandits they come now. Dear Vice President, since you there now, the waka like us war, you know they feel they talk. Unana na 2027 general election now na the face so country they shake. See youth call member when we the year, we never know whether I don't die safe. 10 million now they give brother bandits them. But the bandits don't say 10 million not do. Say me they give a bike, everything. Now look at it. A call member, federal government picking. Now we don't know whether I don't die now. If call member if he die, how many soldiers they die every day? Not to talk of police. You did there now, they shun, they demote, they promote, they retire, they acquire, they do everything. Your picking they one corner too. That one, city boy movement, they share money, they do everything. Abi? No worry, me as the chairman of Udumagala community, I go so go cry, go give Oga Trump. I go so cry, go give her. And when I go cry, give her. You see the way they pick other people president. Man, don't play, because if I cry, give her, if he can pick you. 2027, all of the face. See what they happen. They go village, bandits go get men now. Enter village, they go even shop, want food, cook beans, kidnap people, carry they go. See they get men, demand for money, and order your watch. This thing they happen. You come outside, you will not expect me as a chairman. I will not vote for you 2027. City boy movement. When I don't bring 10 billion, come give me first. May I test them. If I test them, if you enter my pocket. Man, not talk. Man, don't enter here first.
Help me tell the president to remember his promise. Agreement is agreement, yo. If you give yourself regular electricity in Aso Rock, please also give the suffering people electricity through any means. Your promise is your promise. 2027, if you don't give us electricity, we should not vote for you. Okay, President, now so you talk, oh, now so you is talk. So we are waiting for you 2027. Only you, now talking. That
Boko Haram attacked Nigerian military base. 4 different military bases in Borno State. 4 different military bases. 4 different ones. Between the hours of 10 o'clock p.m. till 3 o'clock a.m. They wreak havoc on the Nigerian army. They unalived them in numbers. Took away their ammunitions and burnt military cars. Yes, Nigerian army retaliated, but they killed so many of Nigerian army. In Katsina State, Boko Haram also attacked a village in Katsina and they vowed to rename the village. Boko Haram is now acting in the place of Oswell Akpabio. Boko Haram are now the Senate. They are now vowing to rename the name of the community. After they've done peace deal with them, after peace deal. Isn't also the video of Nigerian armies circulating how they were hit by Boko Haram in Sambisa forest? They unalived them in their numbers. In the past 24 to 48 hours, Boko Haram have unalived Nigerian armies in their numbers. The one in Sambisa forest, their body was just littered on the floor like merry chicken. And we have a president. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would always be remembered as a very big mistake to Nigeria. Mona, no worry. Time will tell. Very soon, yeah, history will always remember President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a trauma, as an emblem of trauma to Nigerians. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be remembered as a traumatic event that happened to a reasonable and sensible Nigerian youths. We are not safe in the city. We are not safe outside the city. People in Katsina, Borno State, they are not safe. Even in their own houses, they are not safe. Kwara State, they are not safe. But we still have a president. Are we actually being led by a living president or a quiet president? Is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu still alive? Do we still have a president in Nigeria or in Dong Pai? Because the way it's looking is like we have a quiet president in Aso Rock. It's a shame. What you people care about is reclaiming power in 2027, whereas the people you are governing, the people you are ruling, the whole place is turning to a pool of blood. The history will always remember this regime, yeah, as a traumatic event, the worst thing ever in the history of Nigeria. It's a shame.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. It's very glaring and it's obvious that our government have left their responsibility and chasing shadows, because I don't understand what is wrong with this administration. There are so many things happening in this country and nobody is talking about it. The only thing the government is concerned about is 2027 election. I don't know. Do they care for the lives of Nigerians at all? If they do, why is no one talking about the problems that is facing us, bedeviling us as a nation day in, day out? The government is not even providing or maybe providing solution to any of these problems at all. Rather, they try to rub it in our faces. You can imagine the insecurity, level of insecurity going on in Nigeria. No Nigerian is safe again. Just last week, we heard about the story of a copper, a youth corps member who was sent on, who was posted to Sokoto on his way going to Zamfara State. Who was posted from Sokoto to Zamfara State on his way going to Zamfara State. He was taken by kidnapped by bandits, and till today he's still he's still in the camps of these wicked people. You can imagine the insecurity, the level of insecurity happening in the country. You can imagine the killing, the attack on our military bases, and the several attacks happening all over the country, and the ones that are not even reported. The things are enormous. Imagine the suffering, the hardship Nigerians have to go through every day just to live, and yet nobody is talking about it. The only thing the government is concerned about is how to win, and is how to win election come 2027. Is this what we want from the government? And after winning, what else again? You still continue suffering Nigerians the way you want. This is not the basis of governance, and this is not why you were appointed, or we appointed you to be our president or to be our leaders. It's a time for you to show compassion, and it's a time for you to show that you truly care for Nigerians, because All this whole thing of like, okay, this election thing you're thinking of, or this power thing, power is transient, it comes and go. After 2027 re-election and you become like the president again, or you're re-elected again, you do your 4 years again, and before you know it's gone. And like other presidents and former presidents today, you become one of them. And what will people say about you? This is not making any sense again. And this is a time for sober reflection for our politicians, especially the leaders who are at the highest pedestal of leadership in the country. This is a time for you to reflect over what people are doing to Nigerians, if it's okay, and if this is what you're supposed to be doing. The cost of living in Nigeria alone is skyrocketing every day. People are suffering. The poverty level is increasing every day. And according to your promises, you say that if you are not able to provide stable and steady power supply for us, that we shouldn't vote you come 2027. We shouldn't vote, or we shouldn't re-elect you. That was the promises you made. So are you going to hold on to that promises not to even come to the ballot? Well, this is preposterous, and this is not making any sense. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.